work. Well, we've got the market open coming up in a few seconds now, and I think it's going to be a higher start. And we'll see if we are able to build on it in any substantial form. I think about 50 points higher is where the Nifty is left off in the pre-open, and the opening rates on the indices will come up. So Sensex was showing a 100-point pop in the pre-open. It's up 60 now, so fast-changing rates there. And I think you've got the Nifty, which is up about 35 points. 25,383 is where this one is trading at. What else? The Nifty Bank is absolutely flat. It's got about 60 points, which basically means we're up about 0.15%. That's it. Nothing more. And maybe we can sort of straight away look at a few names and a few stocks here which are moving around. Put up Adani Power if we can. So it's got a 4% pop right now. So 660 on Adani Power. On your screen right now. There is Bombay Stock Exchange, but that will be on the NSE. It's up 3%. It's got large volumes. Edelweiss is up about 7%. And we were talking about this in the morning. 134. It's one of the biggest volume-led gainers right now to start the day. And there is EPAC and a few others which are kicking off trade today as well. But, I mean, it's a quieter kind of a start overall. But we'll talk about more stocks as we go along. Surabhi.
Okay, so, starting off, some of the metal names, they have a little bit of green around them. So Hindalco, Tata Steel, these are the early movers on the way up. ONGC is managing about a 1% up move for itself as well. And you have Kotak Mahindra Bank, which is the best performer in the banking pack. Bajaj Finance, which is going to be in focus with the housing finance subsidiary listing today. That stock's up about 0.5%. Bajaj Finserv is managing about 0.5% as well for the time being. Reliance is quiet, about 0.5% of an up move on RIL. On the weaker side, the FMCG space, which saw a lot of buying last week, that's where there's a little bit of profit taking this Monday morning. So Lever is down 2.5%, Britannia, Nestle, these are the stocks on the way down. By the way, the life insurance stocks, they had a weak close on Friday, and some of them like SBI Life are starting on the cautious side as well. So fairly quiet with the news that the banks are not doing too much. It's some of the commodity names that are rising. And FMCG is cooling off. Well,
that's right. Vedanta, that's the stock to track from here on. It has a bit of silver exposure as well via Hindustan Zinc, and it's got this entire commodity basket with it. Keep in mind, it's been a relative underperformer. In May, it was a 500 rupees stock plus. It's gone through a series of underperformance, even taking into account the 24 rupees dividend that they've paid. For the time being, the stock is opening higher with strong volumes, so keep an eye out on that one. And that's a stock in focus since we're going to be bracing for rate cuts. So that's one name. The other one that we're looking at is Deccan Gold. I'm just looking at the BSE release. They've said that they've shipped the first batch of lithium to China from Mozambique. So, that's one name that's moving higher on very, very large volumes. Keep an eye out on Deccan Gold. We normally don't talk about that. But initial volumes very, very high even on the BSE. Lumax Auto, they're going to be acquiring 60% stake in green fuel energy solutions for around 133 crores. The street likes this theme, right? Anything to do with green fuel, energy and the likes. The volume's low on the BSE, but the stock has moved up close to around 7% or thereabouts. So it's a good start to trade. We're trading mildly in the green. The Nifty Bank has breached that 52,000 odd mark. Who would have thought? It went through a series of underperformance, but the Nifty Bank is now getting its mojo back. And if the FI flows are going to come in, valuations as well looking fairly attractive, that could be the one that leads us higher from here on.
Word on some of the sugar names. Remember, we were discussing this with Prakash as well, that now cane and molasses, B-heavy molasses, can be used for making extra neutral alcohol. So more favorable policy action, basically, and more relaxations coming through for the sugar space. And some of those stocks are starting off on a sweet note. Bajaj Hindustan, a couple of others, Dhampur, Balrampur, most of them on the upside. Triveni Engineering, which obviously has a huge distillery operation, is up about 2% as well. Some of the initiations, the notes that Hormaz was talking about, Stovecraft up about 5%, the Shilpa Medicare, different brokers, MK and Antique have written on these companies, and the stocks are reacting quite positively.
No, it's a good-looking screen. The jewelers as well, right? So Tribhuvan Das is up 6.5%, 7% actually. So that's another space, and I can only spot one. But you should keep an eye out on some of the smaller ones as well. So TBZ was up 20 on Friday. I mean, Tangamail and Senco and Kalyan, all these stocks have been buzzing. I mean, they're all, I think, up about 30-35% more over the course of the last 5 or 6 trading sessions. So that's that. EPAC Durables has been on a re-rating spree. Very, very fast move. Another 5% on EPACs, 363 on this one. Bombay Burma is up about 4% to 2,800 is where that is now trading at. I mean, it's looking good. These rice stocks, I'm not sure if you guys mentioned, KRBL is up 6% and LT Foods is up about 7%. Actually, these two names, small names, right? But they are some of the biggest volume-led gainers on the NSE NSE and the BSE, I'm assuming both this morning. KRBL and LT Foods 6 and 7.5% at this point.
And just one more stock. We do talk about it on a day-to-day basis because it's making the moves Edelweiss, but I've just looked at the move in totality.
Yeah.
The stock has doubled in the last, I think, 5 weeks alone.
Yeah.
It used to be a 62 rupee stock not too long ago in early August. Now 135 on a day-on-day basis. We're seeing huge volume and price action on Edelweiss. So quite a stunner.
It's number one on the volume, volume and price action perspective.